It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
All right. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. It is July 19th, 2025. Horse pill. It's my day off, so I'm just chilling here at the house. I did some running around. I had some low top boots, man, at work last night, dude. They were growing a mouth. They were talking. Whole side of them was coming out. So me and Sammy ran up to the mall. I got some Pumas. It's my first time buying Pumas, high top sneakers, because I had been wearing boots for the longest time, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go sneaker for a little bit, and then maybe when these wear out, maybe the next pair I'll get is boots again. I don't know, I just kind of like to switch it up. Normally I got Converse one time, and the puffy high tops, and they literally broke down like within a couple weeks. I was like, wow, this is retarded. It pissed me off so much because I was trying to do the right thing and buy like an American brand. So I said, fuck it, dude, I'm getting Nikes. And I bought a pair of high top Nikes, and they lasted forever, you know. And I already know, like, child labor, Chinese, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, yeah, if you buy American made, it's shit, you know. Like, sorry. And I'm a 90s kid, man. I grew up hearing, you know, oh, it's made in China, it's shit. And it's like, well, I bought American made, and it fucking broke down, you know, in like weeks. So I'm going to try Pumas, man. But these were like $60. I needed shoes. I got a copy of Oracle of Seasons. I just went ahead and got it, man. It was $60 too. Because I'm super close to beating Minish Cap. I'm on the final dungeon, so I'm super close to beating it. And then I did buy this a while back. I looked at like walkthrough videos, just curious of how long the game was. There's people who are beating this game within like an hour, so I'm like, oh, that I'm still gonna review it, you know. So go check out my other Zelda reviews. There's a playlist just called Zelda, because I do like to do game reviews too on this channel, not just all conspiracy. But yeah, I'm like, I'll burn through that in like one sitting, you know, one day. So I was like, fuck it, I'm getting a new Zelda. And I've been looking for that one for a minute, and it just happened to be in the shop. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm getting it. But I hope everyone's having a good day. Yesterday's episode, we covered the death of Dan Rivera. Every now and then, not always, most of the time, dude, I'm pretty punk rock and run and gun. I just say whatever the fuck I want and put it out. I'm always brutally honest on this channel. But every now and then it's like a touchy subject. Like yesterday's video, I was like, I didn't get a whole lot of thumbs up. It got a lot of views. But I didn't get any negative comments either. So that was cool. I was trying to be as respectful as possible, but it's an interesting paranormal related story. You know, how do you talk about certain things, you know? So I was like, I'm glad, because I was like worried. And the title obviously is like very tabloidish, clickbait type shit, which I'm not gonna lie, I do it, you know. Hang on. I don't see anything wrong with clickbait, you know, to an extent, like as long as the product, what you're putting out, and you're actually talking about what the clickbait is, you know. It's the name of the game, you know. And I'll never forget, dude, this blew my fucking mind one time. There was a comment that said, I put out a video on Tyler from Secure Team, and I put it out, and someone in the comments said, oh, he's just putting this video out for views. And I said, well, yeah, that's the whole point of being a content creator is to get views. Like, duh. That's the whole point. Like, I want this to be a career someday where I don't have to work a shitty dead-end job anymore, and I could be a podcaster full-time. The whole point is views. But it, like it was a jab at me, like, and for some reason it's so weird, like, in this community to say, like, hey, I want to turn this into a career, and I want to make money off of this. And it's like, oh, you're a shill. Well, this is podcasting. This is talk radio. Can you imagine working for a radio station and they're just like, oh, you don't get a paycheck, like, ever. You're just doing this for fun. Like, no, I want a paycheck. This is a job. Yes, it might be fun, but it's still a job, you know. People are so fucking weird that you're just doing this for views. Yeah. Duh. That's the whole point of doing it. Like, it'd be like a painter painting a painting and then locking it in a closet. And I don't want anyone to look at it. Well, why'd you paint it then? Hang it on your wall. Let everyone see. People are so fucking weird. But that's about it for an intro. The only reason I brought it up is because it's related to today's episode. So, let me scoot this up. Yesterday we covered the death of Dan Rivera, and we did an episode on the Annabelle doll. Go ahead, if you're on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, don't worry about it. It'll just be in the related episodes. I will put both of the episodes I'm talking about now on there. You can click on those. But if you're on YouTube, go ahead and just download, because you can download other people's playlist. Download the Warrens playlist. Because all these episodes are connected. That way I don't have to rehash myself. But we covered the Nottoway plantation burning down, how it was, people were thinking it was related to Annabelle. And then during the death of Dan Rivera 2 days ago, we got into Gettysburg. And I was like, you know what? I know nothing about this Nottoway plantation, but it's a paranormal site, apparently. And I haven't done an episode on Gettysburg. So I'm like, today might be a double feature, or we might just do a deep dive on one or the other, or both. I'll see how it is, because it's slightly off the cuff. But I was like, I want to do an episode on both of those deep dives, because I want to learn about Nottoway plantation, and I love paranormal. So I hope you guys enjoy. This is like entertainment plus educational. That's what today is, kind of like an old school episode like I used to do, you know. So, Nottoway plantation. I know nothing about this, so I'm learning along with you. Where ghosts are guests. Nottoway plantation. White Castle, Louisiana. LA, so yeah, Louisiana. It was a dark and stormy night when I arrived at Nottoway plantation, eager to get my room, unaware of the ghost. Here's a picture too. This looks like in one of the hallways of the plantation. So it is pretty, and I do, it's a touchy subject for a lot of people. I know when the plantation just recently burned down, there was a lot of people like, good, I'm glad it burned down, you know, because it was a plantation. But it's like, I actually go to a lot of these things. Here in Kentucky, we have tons of different like mansions and plantations and Civil War museums. Me and my wife, we go to those things a lot, and it has nothing to do with like racism or political beliefs or anything. It's just, I love learning about history, you know. Who knows if it's true, but history, and preserving it and seeing it, and it's fun. It gets me out of the house, you know. So it was a dark and stormy night when I arrived at Nottoway plantation, eager to get my room, unaware of the ghost. Western Louisiana was flooding, so I was right. LA is Louisiana. Roads were washed out, hotels in short supply. I had pointed my rented Jeep toward one of the few places with a room. That's my wife's favorite car, Jeeps. A mansion by the Great Mississippi River Road. I've never seen the Mississippi River. I would love to, man. That's on my bucket list. 30 miles south of Baton Rouge. That and New Orleans. Nolans. I want to go to Nolans because I'm very witchy and that would be cool. That's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It was about 1 a.m. when I finally passed sugarcane fields surrounding the plantation on a bayou gula cane so tall and thick you could walk a foot into it and disappear. Out of the lush fields and the darkness rose the 40-room plantation. So this motherfucker was huge. Which bills itself as the South's largest antebellum house. In Italiante Greek Revival, built in 1859 with 22 white columns, with the White Castle of Louisiana, quote unquote, is what they called it. The night security manager, Jim Dennis, insisted on carrying my bag up to room 14, the only one available. By the way, dude, this is why I want this channel to blow up, and this is why I would love to be or win the lotto, so I could like go out and visit these places and document it. That'd be so fucking gnarly. For one, it would be awesome as hell because this is the type of shit I'm into, and it would be cool to make it a career to just travel around, do documentaries, do podcasts, you know, check out paranormal shit. The massive door was nearly as tall as the 15-foot cypress walls, and Dennis opened it to reveal a mahogany canopy bed draped in a heavy red and golden bedspread with matching drapes and pulled on the floor. Sounds beautiful. Jim headed for the door, but not before muttering with a smile, "All our apparitions are friendly." Dun dun dun. I was going to make a joke, but he had already disappeared. Looking back, I remember noticing 2 water-stained flower prints on the wall next to the claw-footed tub in the bathroom down a short hall. In the room, next to a display of vintage jewelry, was a photograph of an elderly woman. The next night, after capturing the stories of flood survivors, I asked Dennis what he'd meant by apparitions. "Oh, that room is haunted," he said matter-of-factly. I started. By the way, this is written by, to give proper shout-outs, a Molly Hennessy Fisk. Excellent writing. Sorry, I used to be a journalist, and reading articles, as a journalist, like, where I used to write for the newspaper and shit, you kind of like, let's see how good this motherfucker is, you know? I won an award in excellence for writing. It was pretty good. It's pretty cool. The Ghost especially has a thing about women with long hair. Me too, man. Especially brunettes, man. Pale brunettes. Dennis said several female guests had swiftly left the room after encountering Ghost. One woman was showering when the lights went out. So he's a creeper ghost, man. And she felt a cold hand on her neck, shifting her hair. So, ooh. This is what, I've always said this, dude. I believe the ghosts are real because I've seen apparitions. An apparition. Just one time I seen an apparition of an old bald man. Because my mom's house used to be an abortion hospital. In Lancaster, Kentucky. And I believe in ghosts. I've seen orbs. You guys know my old stories. I've told them. I don't want to rehash. So I've always said that I don't want to go to heaven or hell. I want to be a ghost just for a little while. Like an intelligent ghost, not a residual haunting. And I want to just be a fucking pervert and get away with it. And just creep on women while they're showering or masturbating and stuff. Just to be allowed to be a creep and not get caught or in trouble. And I wouldn't fuck with them. I wouldn't be like evil. I would just kind of like chill and just watch, you know. Like a creeper. Hang on. I gotta find my place. Another woman was showering when the tub jolted towards the wall. So this thing like pushed the tub. After she tried to reason with the ghost, it jolted back and the feet fell off. That might account for the water stains on the bathroom pictures, I thought. So where was I staying tonight? That room, girl. Hang on. That's my alarm for work, but I'm off today. The carriage house, which was also haunted, Dennis said. Oh, so she is staying in a different room. But by a kindly ghost, a girl who died there 150 years ago. On the computer in front of him, he showed me a security camera video of a girl's pale outline floating around the front parking lot. That would be cool to fucking see. I wish they would post it. Maybe I'll have to go on their website or something. If anyone knows or has seen that footage, like, send me a link in the comments below, because that would be cool to check out. I am a news reporter who deals in facts, but I am also Catholic. Fairly superstitious and a fan of ghost stories. I collected them as a child, told them as a camp counselor. That's cool. Stephen King's books. By the way, dude, Stephen King is fucking up so bad right now. Did you all see that he posted on Twitter or something yesterday or the day before? The Epstein files are about as real as the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. And I'm like, which, by the way, I'd been wanting to talk about this on the channel anyway, so I'm going off the rails for a second. But I'm like, okay, now we all know you're a creep. Like, I already knew he was a creep. I did a podcast called It, quote unquote, because the movie It and the book It. I'm talking about the book It. I literally titled it It Child Orgy Scene. He put a child orgy scene at the end of It, the book. And he's tried to explain of how it's like symbolism for this. I'm like, no, you're fucking weird, dude. And you always take the worst take ever. You know? Like, he's creepy, man. He's fucking creepy. Yes, he puts out amazing movies. Yes, he writes amazing books. I've read Christine. It's beautiful. It's awesome. Well, I wouldn't say beautiful, but it's an awesome book. He's a good fucking writer. He's talented. I separate the art from the artist, but dude, you are a fucking creep. And like, you read The Stand and it's about a virus and the Antichrist, and it's like book sales jumped during COVID. Like, you know, he's hanging out with elites and he's getting revelation of the method, predictive programming. Like, he's getting info. You know that. You gotta know this shit. Dr. Sleep, go watch my Dr. Sleep review. That whole movie was about fucking adrenochrome, you know? Okay. Stephen King's books are among my favorites, including 1408, which that one is a sick fucking book. And it deals with alcoholism, too. Dr. Sleep was more AA and shit like that. That one's really good if you're a friend of Bill like me. His short story about a skeptical writer who insists on staying in a haunted hotel room with those digits that add up to 13, and where people had died. So 13, by the way, Dan Rivera, last episode, this is why we're doing this episode, died on the 13th. I'm just saying, I kind of was like, ooh, that's a little spooky. And where people had died. As ghostly forces take hold, the writer loses his grip on reality and tries to leave the room, but it won't let him. I may be skeptical, but I slept with the lights on. I did not shower. Hey, you weren't in the creepy guy ghost room. I did not peer in mirrors or out at the parking lot, because that's where that ghost girl was spotted. I willed myself not to reread King's story or Google Nottoway Ghost, which is what we're doing. If I had, I would have seen the plantation had so much paranormal activity that it was featured on Discovery Channel's quote-unquote Ghost Lab. I've never seen that one. I grew up watching like Ghost Hunters and Zach Bagans' Ghost Adventures, till I found out there was some weird shadiness with both of them. I don't know. It is what it is. I always liked Ghost Hunters better. Zach Bagans was ridiculous. They'd yell at the ghost, "Come here, you fucking faggot!" You know, it's like, dude, whoa, chill. Imagine. I got myself laughing, but imagine just chilling, like being a ghost, just doing your little ghost shit, and just some like a guy who shops at Hot Topic just kicks in the door. "Come here, you faggot!" "Hit me, possess me." He was always so redonkulous, dude. Nothing happened. The next morning, I passed one of the housekeeping staff and asked whether he'd seen any ghosts. "Oh, people leave all the time," the staffer, Roy Johnson, said, "especially from room 14. He recalled cleaning a room when he heard a ruckus next door. Furniture rattling, shifting. He called the main desk, but they said the guest had already checked out. So I knocked like this. "Housekeeping," he said. No response. He opened the door. Empty. He tried not to work too late, he said. He didn't know how Dennis could handle staying after dark. Roaming the property, doing security checks. The night the moon was full, I stayed in cottages next to the main house. Dennis assured me they were not haunted, but when I stopped at a nearby coffee shop for a cafe au lait in Baynets, two local, sorry dude, this is French, man, I'm sorry. Two local police officers laughed at me. "That's worse," one of them said. "That's the old slave quarters." But it didn't feel haunted to me. I turned out the lights and I slept soundly. The next day, during a tour, I discovered there had been plenty of deaths and dramas at Nottoway, which was owned by the Randolph family, forebears of William Randolph Hearst. Interesting. You hear that name pop up a lot in the conspiracy community, and I really don't know much about William Randolph Hearst. I need to look into him because I hear all the time listening to Tinfoil Hat. I hear them bring up Sam Tripoli bring up, speak of the devil, where he brings up fucking William Randolph Hearst. Does anyone know anything about this character? Because I hear his name pop up all the time in conspiracy theories. I just can't recall what for. And named after the county they came from in Virginia, where my wife was born. This was a house built and staffed by hundreds of slaves who crafted its signature bucelage molding from Spanish moss. We used to have that down in Florida too. Horsehair and river mud. At least one slave, Judah, of course given a Christian name. I don't love it, but isn't that crazy? Like, we took all these Africans who had their like tribal beliefs and shit, and we just crammed Jesus down their fucking throat, and now they're all Christians now. Like, it's not even their actual native religion, dude. Kind of like me I'm Native American and Irish. Like, I shouldn't be believing in Jesus and shit. I should be believing in like Celtic Druidism and like Native American shamanism, you know? Sorry. So Judah was beaten by the overseer and jailed before joining the Union Army. So he became a Buffalo Soldier. Good. I like Lincoln. I like Lincoln and Kennedy. That's the only two I fucking like, dude. Everyone else can suck my dick. The house came under attack during the Civil War, but was spared when a Union officer realized he had stayed there. 3 Randolph sons fought for the Confederacy, and one died at Vicksburg. Another was disowned for running off with the daughter of a slave. That's kind of cute, though. I mean, he fell in love with a black girl and ran off with her. Oh, that's beautiful. That would be a good Hollywood movie. You know, they want to make all these woke movies. Like, there's one that's like a decent woke story. It's not, oh, wait, they want cultural Marxism. Yeah, that's right. They wouldn't do it justice. This is another reason. I would love to be a director, man, and just make movies. Like, that would be a good fucking movie right there. One Randolph daughter married a Yankee. Another never married, despite etching her name in one of the windows with a diamond ring, a custom of the betrothed. Go check out my episode, Ghost of Beaumont Inn. When I worked at Beaumont Inn for 8 years as a bartender and server, there's a window in there. It was a girls' college during the Civil War. A girl did the exact same thing. She etched her name in one of the windows with her diamond ring. The Randolphs themselves were wary of ghosts. In their white ballroom, my guide lifted a delicate German porcelain keyhole cover design, he said, to prevent spirits from traveling room to room. Interesting. He said the woman in the photo in room 14 was Nottoway's last occupant owner, Odessa Owen. That's a cool name. Odessa Owen. I like that. When she sold the house to be turned into a resort in 1980, Miss Odessa stipulated that she allowed to spend the rest of her days there. She was beloved by the staff, whom she visited at the gift shop until the day she died in room 14. Another night manager, Bob Green, told me he didn't believe in ghosts, so he's a skeptic. Jim's scared. I'm a skeptic, he said of Dennis. For each of the ghost stories Dennis told, Green offered plausible explanations. The cold hand on the neck could have been a bug. Bugs aren't cold, motherfucker. Sorry, I mean, they don't put out body heat, but no, they're room temperature. And especially in a hot bathroom while the girl's showering, that bug would be warm, if anything. No, sorry. Of which there are lots of on the bayou. The electricity going out and the tub moving could just be the failings of an old house. Electricity, okay, I'll give you that one, because it is a plantation from the 1800s during the Civil War. Bad wiring, perhaps. House moving, yes, the house can move, but for it to shift the tub to the point where it breaks off the legs, nah. The house is also full of optical illusions, he said. He walked me outside and pointed to the third porch of the main house. See the witch? He said. There she was. We could see her shadow in profile, specifically her pointy black hat. Dude, I want to go to this place so fucking bad. Then, Green had me walk a few steps forward toward the glittering lights of a fountain. Suddenly, she wasn't a witch at all. Just a trick of the eye created the shape of an ornate column. Imagine being a child in the 1800s and you grow up and, like, you're seeing the shadow witch, you know, and not having, like, the intelligence we have now. Not that we're, like, the brightest fucking bulbs in the box, but you know what I'm saying? But there are some phenomena at Nottoway that even Green can't explain. As we chatted near the front desk, Cajun chef Mike Gross stopped to say that earlier that day he had been setting up the Randolph ballroom for a wedding and found a chair tipped forward as if someone had reserved the seat. Gross righted it, only to discover soon after that it had tipped again. He fixed it several times before getting a familiar, eerie feeling. It was the same feeling he gets in the corner of the ballroom near the grand piano, like there's a face right next to me. Green took me over to the ballroom, the glittering crystal chandeliers casting a pale glow, and I stood near the piano and closed my eyes. I didn't feel anything. Look at that, Green said. A gold-toned faux bamboo chair was tipped. He righted it. A staffer emerged from the adjacent kitchen. Green explained about the chair. It was what? The man said. He darted back into the kitchen. He stayed in the ballroom a bit longer, waiting for a feeling that never came. All the while, I kept eyeing the chair. That's a good way to end it. That was an excellent article. So that was from the Dayton Daily News. Hey, Dayton Daily News, give that girl a raise. But there you go. I just wanted to hear some accounts of Nottoway plantation, do a deep dive on it, because we barely scratched the surface. And sadly, where I work a full-time job and I'm a busy guy, it's hard for me to sometimes like do deep dives, but I'm off today. And I was like, dude, I'm coming back to this. I wrote it in my notebook. I'm like, I'm coming back to this, you know. So I'm glad we got to do, because I love the older style episodes of reading ghost stories and commenting on them. And it feels good to do my older style again. Not that I don't like my newer style where it's off the cuff with talking points, you know, but I like to mix it up. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up. If you guys do want to donate $1, it would help me immensely for flash drives, computer maintenance, notepads, pens, paper, a cheeseburger once in a while. I'm a skinny dude, you know. I love you all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you all have a blessed day.